Hi, my name is Mike Jones. On August 1st, I was informed that on August 2nd at 2 o'clock, the initiation of a recall against Commissioner John West would take place at the recorder's office. I arrived at about 1:40 p.m. and I assumed that I was going to be one of just several people there because I was called ostensibly to videotape the event, to put out on social media and such. This was obviously not the case because there ended up being about 100 people there. Here is that videotaped announcement.
I want to read you, I'll need my glasses, this is tiny. I want to read you what I'm about to go in and sign and put in with the clerk. This petition requests the recall of Commissioner John West for ignoring the will of the people and for actions that have affected the health and safety of the community, lost revenue, increased costs, or haphazardly cut valued services, and failed to follow the law. The following actions demonstrate a failure to consider the best interests of the people he was elected to serve. 1, bad faith negotiations in the Pipe Fork property sale, leading to a lost revenue and jeopardizing a Williams community water source.
Yes.
2, ignoring the will of the voters by eliminating funding for community programs, including OSU Extension, law enforcement, and public health.
Yes.
Yes. 3, West has shown a pattern of violating state laws, including campaign finance regulations and public meeting laws, and is currently facing several pending ethics and labor law violations. 4, unlawfully approved the library district withdrawal, leading to a costly litigation. 5, West has shown a pattern of threatening community safety by reducing the Firewise program, reducing the emergency management program, and eliminating property development fire standards. 6, hired unqualified political allies for key county employee and contract positions. These actions demonstrate a pattern of unethical and illegal behavior, severely damaging public trust and warranting immediate recall. So with that,
Okay, so 2 or 3 days after that took place, I was wanting to dig further into the details of this so that I'd have a better understanding of it. I contacted Lily Morgan and asked her for more than just the bullet-pointed list that they have. I was told that more would be coming, but she gave me a link to an ethics hearing, which basically is about 5 minutes of a procedure in which they suggest that John West had a conflict of interest because he owned at least a portion of a company which owned a neighboring property to the Pipe Fork property, and that he did not disclose that, and this was some sort of an ethics violation. And several times, or a couple of times during the hearing, the chairman asks if Mr. West would be joining them in some way. And it was said that no, he wouldn't. And then they went on to find that there was sufficient evidence to suggest that there may have been a conflict of interest here and that they should pursue it further. This is not a finding of guilt or anything like that. This is just, I guess, to take it to the next level. It should be noted that when I asked John West about this particular hearing, he claimed no prior knowledge of this. On August 10th, I was at the Josephine County Fair, and I ran into John West, and I had this interaction with him about, first of all, this Pipe Fork property conflict detailed in the hearing I just spoke of.
So a citizen from Williams filed a ethics charge that said that the reason why I was voting no, because I was supposedly supposed to own a piece of property that neighbored the Pipe Fork property that's owned by the county, and that if I didn't sell it, that I would gain and it would make my property value worth more by not selling it. And the property in question, I used to own it, but about 4 years ago, I traded my interest of that property to a gentleman of Grants Pass named Bill Mieleke. And he owns 100% of that. He has for 4, maybe even 5 years. And so in that, he traded his interest of another piece of property that's not in Williams, that is down in the Gleese area. And so I own 100% of that piece of property now. He owns 100% of the property there in Williams in question.
So in between the time I got this information from Lily Morgan and when I spoke to John West put out his answer to these charges, and he sent it to the Oregon Eagle, and he talks about that in this piece of video.
Each of them were misallegations. There was no truth to each one of them, and I broke each one down, and the Oregon Eagle printed it. It will be coming out in the Oregon Eagle paper, and it'll also be coming out in the sneak preview here. And I did send copies. The courier asked me if I had a response. I emailed those same exact the clarifications to each point, but we don't know if it'll ever get printed.
You can find that article on the Oregon Eagle's Facebook page. You can go there, and it's actually live right now.
Yeah, that's my understanding. I receive the Oregon Eagle digitally, so I get the emails as they come out. So I read that, which was my response. He printed it word for word. And when you look at it, it explains where every single allegation they make is it's untrue, unfounded, and it's false. They know it is, but you know they have to go with their lies and their mistruth, because they don't want to tell all the good things that are happening, all the things that are happening about how we're reining the county back for the people, and we're bringing the control back to the citizens, and all that. So they got to stay on one focus point. I heard a citizen come up to me today. I was at the auction, and he said, "Hey, I was by that booth, and they said they're blaming you for the pig pens leaving." And I said,
I have heard that as well.
Yeah, and that's another one of their mistruth. I call it lies, because they know it's a lie. Because 5 people from the 4-H Association voted on a late Friday night to remove the pig pens. They left a message at the fairgrounds answering machine at 8 o'clock on a Sunday morning. It was a calculated move by 5 citizens in Josephine County to make the kids suffer. I was here that Sunday morning along with the sheriff. On Monday morning, I had a discussion with Chris Elliott from OSU. OSU claims that they had nothing to do with it. I believe that they were not involved. I don't believe that OSU was involved. I think it was these 5 citizens that went rogue.
To what end?
To what end did they?
Yeah, I mean, why would they do that?
Well, so they did it because they thought that the 4-H OSU funding, that was their way of getting back at the board, the whole board of county commissioners. And so what they did was they loaded the pig pens on, and then they took the truck to McKinleyville, California, and parked it in California in another state, thinking we wouldn't know where it is. We knew where it was. We knew where it went. We knew where it was parked the whole time.
Wow.
But our discussion was if the pig pens don't show back up, we're going to file a lawsuit. We're going to sue OSU. We're going to sue the 4-H Association. OSU met with their legal team at 12:30 on Monday. And they come out of that and said that they looked at the bylaws for the 4-H association and said they had no right, they had no authority for what they did, and they were back Tuesday morning.
So I pushed on John West a little bit to elaborate on what the motive of this action was, and here's his response.
I believe that their intent was to make the kids suffer, the fair go bad, and thinking that it would give the commissioners a black eye, and it blew up in their face. And so the pig pens come back, the kids is better than ever, the fair went on, the livestock auction went on, and it's my understanding those pig pens have been legally donated to the fairgrounds, so this will never happen again. So you don't hear that from the Miss Truth Center on the recall booth, because they got to stick with their talking points and they don't want the citizens to know the truth. So they continue. If they say it long enough, they think everyone will believe it, but the truth always comes out.
Now, I was under the impression that the recall, if successful, would be on the November ballot. This is not the case. And I asked John West about this, and he clarified the matter.
I also want the citizens of Josephine County to know that if they get the signatures and this goes to a special ballot, it costs the citizens of Josephine County $30,000 to $60,000 to have this special election for recall. And if they whether they win or lose, it still costs the citizens $30,000 to $60,000 taxpayer money.
Understood. So this close to November, they wouldn't just put that on the November ballot. They would be putting that on. We'd have a special election in addition.
Yeah, you can't make the November ballot. It's impossible, because they have 90 days to collect the signatures, which puts them at October 31st. Anything on the ballot had to be done in September. So then the clerk has up to 30 days to research the signatures and make sure they're valid. And then I have 5 days within to respond to whether I'm going to resign, which I'm telling you right now, I'm not going to resign. They'll have my answer in less than 30 seconds. It's a no, I'm not resigning. And then the clerk has up so many days within to schedule a special election. So it'll either be in December or January.
As we were wrapping things up, I asked Commissioner West about his policy vision for the future of the county, and here is his response. I used to cover Josephine County politics a number of years ago. Myself and a friend, we did a show every night about it, and our politics were on opposite ends of the spectrum. But you learn after a while that much of what government does is in their own interests and not necessarily in the interests of the people. And so the players reflect that.
100%. And right now, what the Board of County Commissioners right now is doing is we're reevaluating the county as a whole. We have 455 employees, but in those 455 employees, we are drowning in management. Directors, managers, and we have way more chiefs than we need, and we need more Indians than we need chiefs. We need more people working than we do supervising. There's managers supervising 1 or 2 people, and so we're going to shell that down. We're going to get rid of directors. We're going to get rid of managers. We're going to bring the county back to operating as a lean oiled machine. We can save $1.5 million, $2 million. We can put more deputies on the road. We can keep the programs intact and not have all of this bloated overhead management.
In my personal opinion, people who are signing the petition for the recall on the basis of the information that's currently available are being somewhat premature, perhaps partisan, because there really isn't enough known. It's a it's a bullet point list. There's not much to it. She read the bullet point list in the video in the beginning of this video. So we don't know the details, like at all. And they are at the fairgrounds right now collecting signatures, and they've probably collected hundreds of signatures. Now, I understand that some people, they have their favorite players in politics, and, you know, whatever it is that they ask them to do, they follow right along and do it. Maybe they have, you know, a previous animus or bias against Mr. West. That's entirely possible. And I understand how these things go. However, I think one should be a good juror in a case like this, because these are serious charges being made, and we ought to know the facts and understand what both sides are saying about them, so that at least we have some understanding, something that goes deeper than just yay team. Okay, so there's obviously going to be more to this story, and I will follow up when more information comes out, when more details come from the recall people. I will add those. When more comes from John West, I will add that. I want everybody to be very well informed. If there's a there, you will know it. But you will know it because you looked into it yourself and you understand the details, as opposed to just being told what to do and doing it. There's a big difference. All right, thanks for watching, and like and subscribe if you would, please, and we'll catch you on the next video.